information that you should know before you start a company. We are going to discuss if you would like to start your company, what kind of skills are important, and what kind of knowledge that you are supposed to know in starting business. There are objectives, which are the achievements I would like you to get after you finish the lecture. The first one is you're supposed to be able to explain entrepreneur characteristic. So we are going to discuss what kind of character entrepreneur should have, and we are going to discuss what kind of skills that necessary for them. In the second objective, we are supposed to understand the meaning of business. You are supposed to be able to explain the business resources that you might need in order to start your company or to produce a product. And also, you must be able to classify and identify the type of industry. What is an entrepreneur? When we talk about entrepreneurs, it referring to a person like a business person who is starting and trying to run the company. So I would like to ask you based on your opinions. Do you think what kind of skills for the individual person that is important for them in order to become an entrepreneur? I provide 8 empty pictures to fill in the entrepreneur skills. Let's start with the first one, leadership. When we talk about leadership, it comes up with the way that we work with many people. You have to try to adapt yourself to work as a team. There are so many different kinds of leadership style, like autocratic or participative. Entrepreneurs have to adapt the leading style to make it work with the team characteristic. In addition, they have to try to motivate people to do the work, not only to become the leader. Entrepreneurs should learn to be the follower as well. They are supposed to understand and listen to others in order to make the correct decision. Let's move on to another skills that are important in order to become an entrepreneur. Communication is another important entrepreneur skills. What is communication? Communication refers to when we try to communicate with people. So communication could refer to the language that you are listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and you understand the meaning of it. Moreover, it also refers to the way you act or even your personalities. Entrepreneurs should know how to speak with people appropriately and be able to effectively present or pitch their idea with supporting trustworthy reason. We can move on to the next skills, financial skills. Financial skills refer to financial management. When entrepreneurs start their business, they need to find funds and they have to manage the budget in order to run a business. We need to be thinking about the flow of money in our business. So, financial management is the skills which will help entrepreneurs fill in money activities, such as how will entrepreneur manage their budget or how will they identify the costs that they need to spend. Not only financial management skills are important for entrepreneurs, but other management skills, for example, human resource management, strategic planning, marketing management, are also important as well. We could say that these skills can be grouped as knowledge skills. Move on to another skill which is very important for entrepreneurs. Time management. You have to learn to manage your time. Everyone has 24 hours a day. How will you manage and spend your time effectively? If you are able to manage your time well, it will enable you to complete work and lead you to success. Innovation. The entrepreneur have to understand trend, which is about the new technologies and how to adapt to them. The entrepreneur have to think about how they can apply new technologies into a business. For examples, in terms of solution, production, or design thinking. Thinking. Thinking skills refer to intellectual skills such as creative thinking, analytical thinking, and critical thinking. The entrepreneur processes information, make connection, make decision, and create new idea through the way they analyze the situation, summarize the important concept, and then use critical thinking can creative thinking to provide a new idea of solution in the way of business. Growth mindset. Growth mindset is what people believe. This is entrepreneur perspective, such as when they are facing challenge, they do not want to give up. They would like to improve themselves. So we could say that growth mindset is what people believe in their ability as positive thinking. And this is one of the characteristic of entrepreneurs. In this page, you will see the definition of business, which I provide in three dimensions. We could say that business can be divided into three dimensions or three topics, which is commerce, occupation, and organization. We are going to go one by one together. Business in commerce dimension. It refers to the process of producing, exchanging, and trading between the manufacturers or between the company with their customer. For examples, thinking about when you would like to buy something, you need to exchange money with it. The business is the link between company and customer through the trading process. Business in occupation dimension. Occupation is like a job position. So, when we talk about business as an occupation dimension, it refers to the set of specialized skills which we try to find in people, then hire them to be the company employees. The person who has specialized skill can help the company create value, and the company can offer those values to their customer. For examples, let's assume that you are running a hospital. You need to find people who have specialized skills to do hospital work. You might need doctors, nurses, or any other staff. Let's say that you would like to find a doctor who has specialized skills in heart surgery. And if you are able to find one, that means you will be able to offer heart surgery to your customer who has heart disease at your hospital. Therefore, when we talk about the definition of business as an occupation, it refers to the way that the company try to get a specialized skills and use those specialized skills to create value for that business. Business in organization dimension. Now we are going to move on to the last one, which is business definition as an organization. In the picture, you can see that the center is the company and there are people around it. What does it mean? It means that business as an organization is the way to work with many people. We are not working alone. When we have many people working together, we might need to create structure to identify the staff responsibilities. So everyone in the company will know what they have to perform in order to do the job effectively for the company. Also, we need to create an authority system, which is relationship level inside the company. Who is supervisor, who is subordinate for the workflow as well. So, when we talk about business as an organization, we could say that it refers to the relationship inside the company that make people work together and interact together. When we talk about business, these three dimensions are supposed to be combined together. In the next page, you will see the summarized description of the business. In conclusion, business is the combination of commerce, occupation, and organization in order to produce products to satisfy the customer. In the last topic, we learned about the meaning of business. Now, let's talk about the business resources. Let's think that if you are going to start a business, what kind of resources that you need? When we talk about the resources, we can be divided into four main basic resources, which are financial resources, human resources, material resources, and information resources. First, financial resources. Financial resources are the money your company has available for their spending. When you would like to start a business, you need to obtain the funds for your investment and you need to manage money flow in order to make sure that if you make the loan from the bank, you can pay the debt on time. If you're able to manage financial resources well enough, your company will have a chance to grow. For examples, you borrow money from your parents to start a business, but you cannot pay back the money to them on time. Then you will lose your credit. So, financial resources are one of the important resources that your company need to obtain and control if you want to run a business successfully. Let's move on to other resources. Human resources. Human resources refer to people who are the workforce of an organization. When we run the business, we need people to help us do the work because we cannot do everything by ourselves, especially if you run a big company. In order to run the business effectively and efficiently, the business persons have to understand the way you manage their employees, and that is human resources management. How can you find the employees? How will you recruit them? How can you make employees feel happy when they are working with you? How will you train your employees? All of these questions refer to human resource management. So, when we talk about human resources, it refers to the way that we try to find the right person for the right position in your company and the way that we try to maintain them in the company. Next is material resources. Material resources are known as the set of material things that are part of the company assets, which the company has in the production or operation process. Let's assume that you are running coffee shop. Material resources could refer to coffee making ingredients, coffee making machines, and other equipment such as dishes, cups, chairs, or tables. Material resources are essential for any form of organization because It could be raw material or machines and tools which will be able to fulfill other business function. If the business person is able to manage material resources well, then he or she might be able to reduce the cost of their operation. Information resources. Information resources refer to the collection of information that is valuable for business. We could say that information resources are data and information used by an organization. So, the information resources could be the information about the company themselves, the information about the current situation, the information about customer, or the information about competitors. The more information you have, the better you can analyze and make a decision for your business. These resources must be collected in order to start a business. And when you run a business, you might need to produce product to sell to the customer. The process to produce a product is called production. Regarding production activity, if you want to produce something, you might need some elements to perform the transformation, and we call those elements as factor of production.